looking for a fiesta in a very small town where folks are friendly and never put a stranger down, where the stars at night shine in the eyes of folks by day. I'll find a small fiesta as I go on my way. A cowboy rode into town with a couple of his saddle pals, not bound for any particular destination. They saw the town preparing for a fiesta and decided to stay and relax under the roof of a cantina. The cowboy left the other two and wandered about, coming to a meeting room behind the church where a fiesta committee was at work. They took note of him and he responded with a hello, offering to help wherever he was needed. They had expected help with the fiesta lanterns and decorations, but the helpers had not come. So he sat at a table and began to make decorations and garlands with the colored paper and cloth and flowers that were there. He had not done something like this in quite a while, but remembered enjoying making holiday decorations back home. He worked alone and completed several garlands and bouquets before a young girl came by, one of the helpers who was late. She was taken aback by this cowboy sitting at the table, but was also impressed by the work that he had done. They proceeded to work together, and any initial discomfort soon turned into teamwork and shared joy about their handiwork. At some point, the girl's parents arrived. They stared at the cowboy and their daughter working together, but soon saw no reason to continue doing so. The girl and the cowboy hung and arranged all the decorations and were both happy with the work they had done together. He then excused himself and rejoined his other saddle pals. As the fiesta began, everything looked fine. The three saddle pals felt at home, even though they pretty much stuck to themselves. The cowboy wandered off again and looked at all the food on display. Then he found a girl playing games with some children. He hung around them, sometimes joining in a game, other times just watching. The children soon stopped thinking of him as a stranger. As evening arrived, the cowboy rejoined his friends again to watch the dancing. The girl was there too, dancing once or twice with her father, and other times with boys her own age. She didn't seem to have any particular escort, so he went up to her and asked for a dance. Since she and he were collaborative artists, neither felt particularly awkward or shy, and there was nothing much either tried to read from the request or its acceptance. Her parents stared at the cowboy and their daughter dancing, but again saw no reason to continue. His saddle pals didn't make much of a hoot over it, perhaps because they could also see the two were fellow artists. Before the night came to a close, they had a couple of more dances together. He said goodnight to her and the children that were still there, and once again rejoined his pals. The following morning, as the saddle pals prepared to leave the town, the cowboy had heroic thoughts of being gunned down in the street, and as he was dying, the girl came up to him and cried over his body. There was one version where he stood in the path of a bullet that was coming straight for her. He then dismissed these thoughts and sat with a piece of paper and a pencil and drew a picture of the street before him. He walked to the room behind the church to see if the girl was there. She wasn't, so he folded the picture and asked the woman he recognized from yesterday if she could give the girl the folded paper. Then he walked back to the cantina. He felt a little relieved that he would not be there to see her reaction to receiving the drawing. Even fellow artists feel awkward at times. When he got back to the cantina, a worker there stopped him and gave him an envelope. Inside was a colorful drawing of flowers. He smiled like he never had before and resolved to hold on to that drawing forever. He could never marry the girl for many reasons, but she would be his partner forever. He left the town with his saddle pals, praising the sunny day and not letting any heroic thoughts ruin what he had. I'm looking for a fiesta in a very small town where folks are friendly and never put a stranger down, where the stars at night shine in the eyes of folks by day. I'll find a small fiesta as I go on my way, where the stars at night shine in the eyes of folks by day. I'll find a small fiesta as